Hey, it's me again. Do you ever dream? Well, let me tell you something. I can confidently say that some of the people with this video on are dreaming right now because autoplay put it on while they were falling asleep. And to those people, I say, nightmare, 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 nightmare. And to everyone else, I say, welcome back. Welcome back to Where Are We Now? The only digital exploration series watched in North Korea. That can't be right. We're exploring some more Garry's Mod maps in this episode, but more specifically, we are going to be looking at the really, really weird ones. Surreal spaces, fever dream-esque landscapes, worlds that can be brought into existence by doing things like taking melatonin or by staring into a mirror after playing Cruelty Squad for 12 hours straight. I'm striking while the iron is hot, too, because very recently, the Hammer Editor Development Group Discord channel hosted a Surrealism map contest, and a bunch of cool stuff got made by members of the community. I'm just in awe at the talent and the weirdness on display with all these submissions, so I'm excited to dive in here. Weird is like a seasoning to me. You want a good amount of it, but there's definitely a line where it's too much or too little. In my opinion, there just hasn't been enough weird stuff on the channel lately, so today, I'm gonna fix that. Things are gonna get strange and they're gonna get uncomfortable, so strap yourselves in. And as always, a lightning-fast thanks to my supporters on Patreon who make everything I do possible. Check the link in the description to find out how you can fund more videos like this one for as little as $3 a month. Alright, let's get weird with it. Ready? I don't think you are. Let's do it. Jeez. The first fever dream we're sharing in this episode is called Surreality by Reptile Dysfunction. That's a good name for the map, very fitting. So, the house is watching me. Its two right eyes are listless and devoid of feeling, much like myself after I finished mouthwashing. If it is sentient, I have to wonder what the house thinks about all day, and if it feels vulnerable when someone comes in through the front door. There's a tiny little garage here, but it doesn't open. Oh, and let's not forget the looping road running along the ground and up over the false sky. This is sort of like a 3D recreation of those play mats you'd see as a kid with all the roads and houses and such. Man, it used to be so easy to amuse ourselves. Well, there's no reason to let Housey McHouseface here go hungry. Let's head on in. Oh, gross! It is alive! It's got a heart and a ribcage and everything. I'll admit it, I didn't expect this. That thing is nasty. If you peek inside this closed room to the side, you can see a bloody skeleton lying in bed. This is sort of like Monster House, isn't it? In that movie, the house is possessed by the spirit of the owner's dead wife? I'm fuzzy on the details since it's been years since I last saw it. So is this a similar situation, or is that the skeleton of one of the house's victims? I can totally see some drunk stumbling in here thinking it's their house, and not noticing the massive heart in the kitchen on their way to the bedroom. I don't think that happened in Monster House. The most unrealistic part of that movie isn't even the evil house. It's the fact that it eats 2 cops and isn't immediately stormed by a dozen more cops. I think they come back at the end, but still. The upstairs is also disgusting. It's all fleshy, and the floor has those milkshake footstep sounds that I hate. And there's the brain. It's probably thinking all sorts of house thoughts, like, who's gonna clean my windows, and does this guy really need medication, or is he faking it? Oh my. This is so unsettling. I always imagine this is what doing stand-up is like. Well, first time for everything. It looks like it's open mic night. Yeah, that's not gonna work. They're unbreakable. I saw this video from For Fun a while back where they prank one of their comedians by replacing the entire crowd with trained mimes right before he goes out on stage. The comedian turned out to be legit since he did get a mime or two to break. I think it'd be a different story if he went out and the crowd was all floating eyeballs, though. I don't even think Bernie Mac himself could get a laugh out of some eyeballs. Maybe a blink or two. I should leave. This place is deeply uncomfortable. Who the hell is that? Why does he look so sad? It probably has something to do with having your face immortalized on a rotating ball for all eternity. I like bright colors as much as the next guy, but this is just sort of grating to look at after a few minutes. This is what politicians think all video games look like. Just this bright conglomeration of colorful patterns and esoteric imagery. See, this room over here is a little more my speed. It's peaceful in a way. It looks like it could almost be a level from one of those really, really early point-and-click adventure games with the pre-rendered 3D graphics. Oh, great info player start of the lake. What is your wisdom?
I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry.
Okay. I was expecting a technical map-making tip, but I guess that works too. If you go through this white doorway, you get teleported into a tiny compartment that's textured with a low-res meme of a cat, so I recommend not doing that. Ah, it's another eyeball room.
Dr. Freeman.
Huh? Oh man, the eyeballs have prisoners.
Hey, it's Freeman! You're not leaving without me!
I bet I am. So what's the story here? Are they imprisoned because they don't have the right eye color or something? Oh, it looks like the guy on the end here isn't doing too well. Rip. Hey, this is the most normal room I've come across so far. It's actually so normal that it feels out of place. It's nice to just sit down and take a break every once in a while. You know, I recently bought a washing machine and had it delivered to my apartment. One of the guys that was installing it for me saw my PC tower and he asked me what I play on it. I panicked and I said, "Lots of Counter-Strike, how about you?" Guys, I have not touched Counter-Strike in like 8 years. I don't know why I said that. I don't know. I guess a part of me didn't want to say some nerd thing like Labyrinth of the Demon King. So I just lied and said something he would recognize for the sake of seeming more normal. Does anyone else do that? Alright, break time's over. I guess I better get back to Spamtopia. What's with this tiny door? Oh, it's Daggerfall? This is kinda cool. I haven't played Daggerfall yet because I find it intimidating, but I love the way it looks. All of these sprite villagers always looking at me, making me feel important and stuff. There's even a creepy guy kicking it old school out back by the map creator's signature. I bet he sells skooma. You can even go into the bar, but they probably don't serve my kind here. 3-dimensional, that is. The 2D ale would probably give me a stomachache anyway, so it's all good. If you follow the door out the back through the eyeball highway, you get spit out into an almost peaceful little enclosure area. It makes me feel trapped after just a bit, though. It's like I'm on display, and any second now, a bunch of ugly aliens are gonna poke their nasty heads over the edge and start snapping pictures of me. Yeah, see? And this room back here is where they would toss me after hours. I'm making it sound bad, but if you throw in a PS2, a copy of Burnout 3, and unlimited croissants, I might be content with being a part of the human zoo. And that is pretty much the whole map. From here it loops you back to the living house so that you can go through the whole thing over and over again until you go crazy. I can confidently say that we've already met and surpassed our weirdness quota for the episode. A house with giant organs inside of it is one thing, but I was not expecting to be dropped straight into the Elder Scrolls 2. I think my favorite part is the house, though. I don't know. Something about its eyes and the fact that there's a skeleton in there, it just pleases me. So Reptile Dysfunction did a great job on that front. Surreality does not disappoint in terms of being surreal. Alright, things are only going to get weirder from here on out, so brace yourselves. The next series of rooms we're going to be freaking out in is Flux 2 by GoldBrick. We looked at the first Flux map a few episodes back. It was cool. Weird but cool. So naturally, I'm thinking the sequel to it is going to be perfect for this episode. When I explored the first one, I had the music muted. I do that on purpose to make editing cuts cleaner, but that upset some people, so this time around we've got tunes galore. And it looks like we're starting off with a corpo concrete look in this lobby. There's a tree hanging down from a block of pure light over a pool of water. I mean shit, you put some koi fish or something down there and this first room could be very close to something you would see on the ground floor of some prestigious New York accounting office. It's nice to see the Tron hallways making a triumphant return. The dance club too. Oh, it's the bathroom? Yeah, don't you just hate it when the walls of your bathroom fall away, revealing an infinite blackness while your toilet and sink start spinning around and releasing different colors of energy? Me too, man. Me too. Ah, this must be where they test their TVs for resistance against ragdolled head crabs. The issue is more common than you might think. I'm a huge fan of this room where the wrecked cars are doing infinite circles around tiny circuits. This is exactly what the mind of a 10-year-old boy looks like in moments of thoughtlessness. Why are they doing this? Do they ever stop? It kind of feels like some weird form of group exercise. Also, holy shit, Green! Slow down, you friggin' show-off! You're gonna make the van feel bad, which is then gonna make me feel bad. And then we're gonna have problems. Ugh. Actually, being in here is making me dizzy. And this room isn't much better. I'm seeing geometry, I'm seeing the Greek alphabet. Yeah, this one isn't for people like me. Oh shit, yeah. Is this just a bowling alley? I was just thinking the other day that it's been a while since I bowled. Let's see here, give it the old push, step, swing, roll. Damn it. I have to be so for real right now, you guys. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I've spent like a full 15 minutes in this room just bowling with the gravity gun. I guess I'm just too stubborn to leave without getting a strike. Oh, come on! How is that not a strike? How is that not a strike? Oh my f***ing god. God damn this world. God damn this horrible world I live in. Oh my god, come on! Oh, I want to rip my off and stomp on it. I'm gonna be seeing pins in my goddamn nightmares. Why does it bounce? Bowling balls don't bounce! God damn it. What the hell am I supposed to do? I just imagined the entire country on fire, like everyone burning to death. This map creator should be getting f***ing kickbacks from my shrink, dude. This is insanity. I can't take it anymore. I actually can't. No, I need to stop. You know, I didn't think we'd get two bizarre checkerboard walkways going through some water in this video, but here I am. It's nice, actually. After taking a minute on this bench to soak it all in, I really appreciate this room. It's weird, but not so weird that it gives me a headache. And I love the galaxy water. If I was a villager in an Animal Crossing game, my house would look totally normal on the outside, but once you step in, the inside would just be this. The only things I would add are some pool floaties to relax in and maybe swapping that pure white sky out for a sunset. And bang, that's my house right there. That's where I live. Speaking of living, that reminds me, we haven't done that little thought experiment in a while. If you woke up tomorrow morning and you were stranded on this map, how would you go about surviving as long as possible? Well, I think water would be covered in this room, assuming you can drink the galaxy water without side effects. It might burden you with unknowable knowledge that human minds aren't ready for, so it would be best to find a way to boil the eldritch out of it first. I haven't seen a stove or anything like that yet, so I'll keep an eye out. In terms of food, I think you'll be fine for a good long while, because if you jump through a couple of Mario 64 paintings, you can find a double cheeseburger slowly spinning around in space. Just come in here to take a couple bites for each meal and you're set. You even have all your main food groups here: fruit, grain, protein, veg, and dairy. It'd be even better if you can find a fridge or something so that you can take this back with you and not have to come out here 3 times a day. There's no easy way to measure this, but doing some hot dog math in my head here, that looks like it could feed one person for at least 6 to 8 months if you ration it well. So yeah, food is taken care of, but if you really are stranded here, you should be using the time the burger buys you to find a more permanent food solution. That still leaves the problem of having a place to sleep, so let's keep an eye out for that. Hey, this is a nice little clearing out here. It's sort of filthy though. Even in a place like this, people are leaving their trash everywhere. Disgraceful. Let's clean the place up. Whoa. I picked up all the trash and a water cooler appeared. This isn't the first one I've come across either. I bet something happens if you activate all of them. I would ask my new crow friend about that, but I think he's shy. The hell? It's Minecraft. Well, that was normal.
Don't drink the water. They put something in it to make you forget. I don't even remember how I got here.
Did that Mountain Dew just talk to me? I must be losing my damn mind. This Minecraft room is really neat though. If you interact with this chest, you get an item, and if you place that on the jukebox, you get treated to a Half-Life parody version of the infamous Disc 11 from Minecraft. That is just awesome. It always pleases me when 2 of my favorite games cross over into one another through these fan projects. Something about glass blocks makes me really miss old Minecraft. Like back before we even had glass panes. I mean, you can still go back and play it, but there was undeniably a creative spark to the golden age of Minecraft that newer versions just don't have anymore. Back then, updates to Minecraft were frequent and fresh, and I felt like the game had a solid trajectory. Now it feels more and more like every update is adding stuff just to add stuff. I might be in the minority here, but I say, let Minecraft rest. Slap whatever final update you have in mind on there and just let it be, Mojang. To milk a creative revolution as important as Minecraft for so long is just shameful. Hey, speaking of shame, shout out to the Minecraft Where Are We Now special for being one of the least popular episodes in the series while also being the most emotionally fulfilling. YouTube works in mysterious ways. Well, this is bizarre. Ooh, that is a very good trick with the paintings. This sideways room trick is one we've seen done before, but this one is definitely the best implementation, at least that I've seen. It's so disorienting. Ow. 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 Man, that's awesome. You know, I've seen working pianos in Gmod maps before, but again, most of those don't really bother with making the flats and sharps work. GoldBrick's version here goes above and beyond. I bet you could play some Shostakovich on this thing if you had 4 or 5 people practice it. Hey, check this out. In this room, there's a recreation of that meditation minigame from the original Wii Fit.
Begin.
Which I always found sort of creepy because of the person that walks around you coughing, trying to break your focus. You never see him, but you know he's there. What does he want? A lozenge? What the hell? Is this some sort of spaceship thing? Oh, it's Aperture, so they're definitely up to no good. One key difference I'm noticing between the first Flux map and this one is that this time around, it feels more like dimension hopping. The first one felt more like just random places, and while Flux 2 here has its fair share of randomness, the areas you find yourself in feel a lot more grounded, like they could be real worlds that you're visiting. I love stuff like this. Looks like just a regular long hallway, doesn't it? Wrong. It's a devious little optical illusion. That is a tiny door. There's no way I'm fitting through that. It's a road out here? Didn't see that coming. Don't worry, I saw this in that one movie with Keanu Reeves and that guy from the music video for The Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead by the Crash Test Dummies. No problem at all. Not the first time I've leapt across moving vehicles. Definitely won't be the last. This is just Tuesday for me. And just when I thought I had seen it all, the map surprises me with a donut world. Wow, that's nifty looking. Whoa, you can even ride it. This is kind of awesome, actually. Between this, the movie theater, and the bowling alley, I think entertainment is covered if you get stuck down here. I'm not even joking, I think I could watch this loop for like an hour and not get sick of it. It's probably even better in VR. Also, speaking of the livability, I did find what looks to be a full house. Stop it. There's 2 bathrooms, a furnished bedroom with a computer in it, and a kitchen complete with a stove and a refrigerator. So that's boiling water and food storage figured out. That bump in the middle of the floor is going to be the cause of more than a few messes in here though, I'll tell you that for free. Still, this is much better than what I expected to find. There are so many rooms in this map, man. This must have taken forever to do. Lots of good music too. I heard some jazz punk music, Deltarune, Detroit Become Human, and a lot of other ones that I didn't recognize off rip. By this point, I've seen pretty much all there is to see on Flux 2. There was also the Metal Gear Solid 3 ladder, the Indiana Jones cave, and the entire solar system. But I couldn't think of anything to say for those rooms, other than map cool. Honestly, the variety here is off the charts. There are dozens of rooms, and almost all of them are made unique by having some sort of interactable element. And like I said, this really feels more like world hopping than completely random rooms. They all have so much personality. I know there's some sort of puzzle to do with finding all the water coolers, but I couldn't get the one in the Indiana Jones cave to activate for some reason, so I'll leave that puzzle for all of you to figure out. If it unlocks an insanely cool part of the map or deposits $100 into your bank account when you find them all, let me know. Flux 2 is perfectly survivable as well, I must say. At least for the 6 months that giant cheeseburger lasts you. Then it gets dicey. I adore this map. GoldBrick did a fantastic job. And congratulations to them for coming first place in the Surrealism map contest. A well-deserved accolade for an extremely well-done map. It's weird, yeah, but it's like a manageable weird. A healthy shade of strange. Like that one friend we all have that's a little too into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Alright, let's pack it up and get into the final map of the video, shall we? The last fever dream we're exploring in this episode is called Mnemophobia by MoonLight. Mnemophobia? I've never heard that word before, so I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. Google tells me that mnemophobia means a fear of memories. Memories are pretty weird after all. You're telling me that I can store something that already happened in my head and, like, learn things from it? That's crazy. Who comes up with this lore? Anyways, this is an adventure map. I don't think we've done one of these on Where Are We Now before, but I could just not be remembering. In adventure maps, you usually have some sort of task you're supposed to do in order to complete the map. Yeah, something clearly isn't right here. I guess that's the train we rode in on. It looks to be some sort of Spirited Away deal with the tracks being submerged in the water. We're in some sort of Void Town. The citizens of Void Town don't want to talk to me. That's normal, though. According to the story posted on the workshop page, we're connected to this world by some sort of bond, and the only way to escape is by restarting what they call a time terminal, which is a machine that keeps time paused and is under heavy security. That's bizarre, which is good, because that means we're still on theme for this episode. I guess there's no time like the present, or in this case, there's no time at all. I find that with fiction stuff that deals with time travel and time suspension, it's best not to think about it at all beyond the surface level. The second you put even a single ounce of critical thought into time travel, it all falls apart. It's a universal constant for a reason. Oh yeah, look at this. We've got rooms connected by grass tunnels with cars and stuff embedded in them. You really get the feeling that reality is collapsing into itself here. It's a dead guy. Wow, those lasers cooked his ass. Thanks for keeping the grip of the gun warm for me, I guess. What is all this tech stuff? That is one thing that Half-Life 2 was unmatched at. Just having all this machinery and electronic equipment looking busy while not being clear as to just what the hell it's supposed to be doing. It's nice to see those core principles stuck to here. This tree in the courtyard has some pipes leading directly into it. I wonder if it's some sort of weird irrigation system, or if the trees have something that the time terminal needs to continue running. Whoa, those trees in the background are friggin' massive. Maybe they're concealing some sort of pipe network. Like it's some sort of Alice in Wonderland deal. I mean, the White Rabbit was worried about being late. Maybe he's behind it all. Oh shit, it's the fuzz. The citizens in this section are giving me the creeps. They don't say anything to me. Maybe I don't exist to them at all, being from outside of this world or whatever. I guess they saw those time cops die from invisible bullets then. That's going to be a fun story to tell their grandchildren. This section has a puzzle that I find annoying. It's one of those classic trial and error turn some valves but not others to make all the lights green, but there are two glaring flaws. Usually with these puzzles, all the buttons or whatever you have to use are in the same room, so that you can easily tell which one does what. But not here. These valves are scattered all over the damn place. It's a pain in the tailbone. Luckily, the map dev knows this and just hands you the solution after you spend a certain amount of time floundering. For the second issue, let's do an experiment. Once all the correct valves are turned, you can finally activate this console right here. Now, what would you assume activating it does? If you said that you think it activates the big important looking teleporter right next to it, you would be wrong. Like me. No, what it actually does is it unlocks this unassuming door over in the hallway, despite it still having the Combine lock attached to it. It took me a couple of minutes to figure that out. The next section looks really good. I'm a big fan of the van that crashed through a building, as well as the house with the intense light pouring out of the windows. This is what I imagine my apartment looks like from the street when I get flashbanged in Modern Warfare 2. We fight our way through some more zombies and a handful of Combine soldiers, and at every turn I'm very impressed with the visuals. Look at this section. We're in what you would assume is some bombed out building with sporadic sections of the second floor still intact with some furniture and stuff sitting up there. But then, I noticed the pipes leading upwards into the darkness that still have pieces of the wall attached to them. Now it's got me thinking that rather than being bombed, this place has been torn apart by violent time tides or something. Some strange prying force, allowing random bits of the architecture to remain standing tall like that. That is a lot of attention put into a detail that only a handful of players are even going to notice. I respect it. There's a lot of cars embedded into the terrain here. I wonder how long they've been buried like that. Maybe not that long if the flow of time is as convoluted as I think it is here. Imagine getting ready to go to work one day only to find out that your car is part of the ground now. How would you even explain that to your boss? It's probably a common occurrence in this world. And you know what else is? Firefights. I know that because in this section I take some pot shots from some more time cops, and after the ensuing battle, this Vortigaunt back here is still sweeping up leaves, completely unbothered. All the people that think they've achieved true nonchalance need to take notes from this guy. This town section actually has a really delightful vibe when the bullets aren't flying. It's too bad it doesn't last long. Oh, another sideways room. I should have made a bingo sheet for this episode. I feel like I could get one or even two bingos with how many tropes Gmod maps have. And this guy has a left boot collection? He must be dead. And good for him, honestly, because the cramp you would get in your hip if you fell asleep like this would be felt by your grandchildren's children. Ah, you caught me admiring the scenery again, you bastard. It's a good thing Combine soldiers are bad shots. Oh, you know what this map reminds me of? It's been on the tip of my tongue the whole time, and I finally got it. It reminds me of the movie Dark City from 1998. It looks just like this at times, except maybe with less foliage. That movie is really good, and nobody talks about it anymore. It's your classic guy wakes up with amnesia and thinks he killed someone plotline, only set in a city that's perpetually nighttime, which nobody ever seems to notice. Then of course there's the bald-headed trenchcoat wearing freaks that emerge from ripples in the walls to do evil shit. Eventually, the characters start to realize that something's wrong with the world, so they travel to the edge of the city only to find out that... No, I'm not gonna spoil it. It's a real thinker. It sticks in your memory, as all great movies should. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm assigning the movie Dark City from 1998 as homework. You've gotta watch it. The ending twist is huge. For those of you that failed the Men in Black quiz, this is your last chance to improve your quiz grade before the end of the year. Better get on it. I like the reality bending in this corner over here with all the cubes painted with textures found elsewhere in the map. There's even a couple of dev textures which are used to prototype unfinished maps. That's a nice touch. Very surreal indeed. This is weird. God damn it. Every time there's a vista I'm trying to admire, there's some twerp on an upper level that takes a shot at me. This is just like when I used to play DayZ. I will say it's a pretty novel experience to be having this Half-Life 2 firefight in such a visually evocative MC Escher-like environment. It's sort of like those sections from all the Far Cry games where your character gets drugged or whatever, except it's done a lot better here. I always disliked those hallucination sections in games. You know, where the environment designer gets to go carte blanche on the visuals. Do other people like them? They always feel out of place, which isn't a bad thing on its own, but the fact that those levels are framed as an altered state of perception just makes them feel inconsequential to me in a way. I don't know. I'd be curious to know what other people think of that. Anyways, after solving another puzzle in this very visually impressive chamber, I reached the end of the first part of Mnemophobia. It puts you in this room where you have to wait 3 minutes for the level load portal to open. Why? To make you take a break? What are you, my mother? The portal opens eventually, and I step in. Even though this is technically a different map, it's part of a cohesive experience, so let's just call it a 2-for-1 special. The second after I step through here, I'm immediately assailed by turrets pointing directly at where I teleported to, which I find fucked up and rude. And you know we must be getting close to the time terminal because security is really getting tight. I entered the combination to this puzzle wrong one time, and now the entire hangar is getting stormed by soldiers from all sides. They give me a run for my money too, I almost died. Combat against Combine soldiers doesn't really work that well in an area as big and as dark as this. I think you have to pick one or the other, big or dark. When you have both, you just have a firefight where the player can't see where to shoot, which feels unsatisfying to me. There's a puzzle here. It's no Indiana Jones and the Great Circle puzzle, but it's not too bad. You have to put an explosive barrel here to open the way, but it's way up there on that lift. Well, to lower the lift, you have to turn the valve, but the valve is missing. You need to backtrack to the beginning of this room and use the gravity gun to break the valve loose from its housing so that you can use it to lower the barrel. Like I said, it's not amazing or anything, but it's way less tedious than anything else so far. I think that the valve is a little too far back from the main components of the puzzle, in my opinion, but I think that might just be me. The passage back here is being guarded by a turret. Assuming it uses traditional camera optics, it would operate a lot better if they'd cut down some of this underbrush. I wonder what they were even guarding against. Obviously these time soldiers or whatever want to keep time paused. That's why they're throwing all they've got at me to keep me out. But why? What would keeping time paused even accomplish for them? Does the Time King have a tragic backstory where his Time Queen is sick with some incurable disease, and suspending time itself is the only way to keep her alive? Is the dying Time Queen gonna help me even though it means that she has to die and the Time King is gonna learn a lesson about letting go or some shit? God, I wish Gmod maps had lore like that. I've yet to find one that deep. If anyone knows any good Gmod maps with wicked ambitious narratives like that, let me know. So this must be the infamous time terminal. Here we go. After throwing this switch here and getting blinded by a fade to blue, most of the next sections of the map have you backtracking through spots we've been through already, only things are getting more and more corrupted. I really like this tree thing with the spinning things down on the bottom of the thing. That's a word I'm using a lot while exploring this map. And that just goes to show you how abstract a lot of this stuff really is. Like, this looks exactly like some pretentious sculpture you'd see selling for like $100,000 online. Only here it seems functional and not just a way for rich people to feel less numb. Yeah, reality itself is coming apart at the seams. There's a war going on in the streets. The people are free, but what do they even have to fight for if everything is being swallowed up by time? They're just gonna have to figure that out for themselves, because it's time for me to go. There's a couple more combat clashes with the Combine and a final puzzle. I'm honestly tired of complaining about puzzles, so I'm just gonna say that it's not to my taste. But I solve it anyway because my brain is huge and wet, and the final teleporter is active. The end. We get the map dev's signature and a pat on the back for our efforts. Jeez, what to say with this one? Mnemophobia is a wonderfully surreal experience. It has pretty high playtime for a free Gmod map. It took me around an hour and a half to complete, but that's probably a bit lower if you do it in co-op with some buddies. Visually, this is a home run. The moody lighting paired with the otherworldly feeling that all the abstract scenes pull together makes for a uniquely dreamlike blend that is scarcely seen elsewhere. It's a case of the artist being held back by the medium, though. I think they want to be making something like a Xenoclash but darker, but that ambition is clashing with what Half-Life 2 is actually designed to be, which is a fast-paced FPS with a focus on physics interactions and frequent weapon switching. I would love to see MoonLight make something like this but more open-ended and focused on exploration, because they obviously have so much damn talent for making interesting and surreal environments. Great map either way. I recommend trying it out for yourselves if you have an hour or so to spare. Well, that's all the fever dream madness I had lined up for this episode. Did you all get your required dose of weird from it? I think I did. Those maps will keep me satisfied for a while. One of the most intriguing sensations that I associate with getting lost in these bizarre, abstract maps is the one I get when I finish exploring one and I look up from my monitor at the real world around me. At the keyboard on my desk, at my cat losing her toys under some furniture for the 100th time today. Do you ever wake up from a really stressful or tragic dream you were having in the morning, only to breathe a sigh of relief when you realize that your hand wasn't turned into a snake by Elton John? Or that you're not floating on your mattress in the middle of the ocean? It's sort of like that. Being plunged into Daggerfall out of nowhere in Surreality was surprising but slightly unnerving. Finding that bowling alley and getting stuck there trying to bowl a strike for a while in Flux 2 made me realize how stubborn I really am. And traipsing through the corrupted reality of Mnemophobia made me feel suspended? I don't know what a good word for it is. All of these fever dream maps were a confusing delight to get lost in, and they make me appreciate more grounded maps a hell of a lot more. And that's all I've got to say for this episode. There's obviously lots of maps out there that could be described as fever dreams, like the Void Places series or pretty much any map made by Nipper. These are just the ones that looked the most interesting to me. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to everyone who supports me over on Patreon. Literally, if it was not for them, you might get like one video every 2 months, so yeah, we all appreciate you Patreon supporters heavily. To all my viewers in the US, I hope your Thanksgiving celebration was exactly what you wanted it to be. To everyone else in the world, sorry if your feed has been crowded with pictures of amazing food that you can't have. Hey, remember to bundle up, it's getting cold out there. Alright, see ya.
My stomach hurts. Oh, oh my fucking stomach.